by now. Awesome, you guys. Welcome to Ignite Session 7, Capture Leads with Open Houses. In person, we have Joseph, Alessandra, Monica, Nicole, Katie. Online, we've got Mose, we've got Caroline. Thank you guys for being a part of this. If you're online and you're reading, we're about to get in the lead. If you're online and you're reading through with us and you want the PDF, I dropped it in the chat. For Caroline, Lloyd, and Monique, I'll drop it one more time. And Monique just jumped on with us. Good to see you on here. Good to see you yesterday. Ignite full students. And if you guys scroll to page, I think 102 or 105 on the PDF, you'll be at session 7 with us here. Okay. All right, guys. Capture leads with open houses. This is the season where you're going to find a ton of available properties. In fact, our team, we have one available house. If you want to host it, it's in Leona Valley. Thumbs up. That's all for the taking. If you guys want it Saturday or Sunday, gorgeous. I believe it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house sitting on 8+ acres. Lots of private land. Definitely worth a shot if you guys want to host it, market it on your command. Great question. Just west of Palmdale. So if you've ever been to Palmdale, Avenue S is your exit, I believe, or no? Palmdale Boulevard is your exit. You hit a left and you take Elizabeth Lake Road. Don't make it sound like you're gonna get lost, like it's in the middle of nowhere. There's such a great saleswoman. I love it.
It's honesty.
Honesty, yeah, that's true. You're such a good salesman.
You put your leg on it, you're gonna drive.
And if you don't have AT&T, you have no cell phone or something. Okay, I'm joking. Okay. So probably not the best. We'll run through here on Zoom with you guys how to pick out an open house. There is a law, just so you know, just like a heads up. I'd be terrible if I didn't tell you that. Unfortunately, there is a big push for us not to host other people's open houses without taking on additional insurance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to also show you how to break it down, not only from vacant property, but also to look for Keller Williams, Calabasas linked properties, right? And you can add other brokerage license numbers to that as well. Okay. So thank you guys again for being on here with us. Whew. All right. Hello, everyone. Let's do it. Right into Ignite. We talked about your realtor expert, real estate expert. We're right in the heart of lead generation, which in this market, open houses will be a big part of what you do or what you get to do. We're going to talk about capturing leads with open houses, the best practices, how to best be prepared to prospect and pursue, recaps, ahas, and of course our daily 10-4. Okay, I'm going to minimize this. Sorry, guys. And if you guys online have any questions, just feel free to raise your hand, chime in. We're here for each other. Nothing else about your business will have as big an impact on it as the number of leads you have. And that's Gary Keller from the MREA. There's never no limit, especially now more than ever, finding the motivated out of the many. It's going to be a fun little game. Maybe in the past, if you had one seller and they were motivated, it didn't really matter what their expectations were as long as it wasn't too high in the sky, because the market kind of captured what they were looking to move at, right? Now with leads, especially buyers who may not be qualified or who may be waiting for that bottom to hit, you're gonna have to find someone who truly needs to have that reason to make a purchase with interest rates at 6-7%, wherever they are right now, and prices kind of not necessarily falling off a cliff, but they're holding the line at the exact same time. So the more leads you have, the more opportunity that you have, when using the sports analogy. Dispel limiting beliefs. I don't have a listing to hold open. I don't have signs yet. I laugh because I didn't have any of this stuff either. In fact, Monica will tell you we didn't buy signs until last year. And that was after we moved here. Yeah, I know.
Just the generic open house?
Yeah, really cheapo, $10 sign from the board that say open house.
Okay.
And people were like, oh, what did we see Philip on there? We were bummed. I don't know. I'm telling you, we were selling real estate without open house signs, without yard sale, without front yard signs. We were just using offices. We just put a writer at best, was a writer. And we just never focused on it. Marketing was never our thing. We literally did one-on-one, meaning we call, connect, one-on-one meet, you're our client for life. And then we would get you out into the field, we would list and sell your home, no big deal. And that was the quintessential solo agents, level 1 realtor, right? And you know what? We didn't have the stuff here might seem like they don't really do enough for us, and but the fact that they ordered the sign, they bill us, was a big plus. But then our other office never do that. And hopefully no one in the other office ever watched these videos. But at the time, we never had that kind of support. Like, we didn't go to the MCA or the front desk, say, hey, we got this listing, can you put a sign up? Oh, yeah, totally, $20, whatever they charge us. There it was, oh, cool, well, you can hire Patty's dad for $50 and put a sign up for you. Like, oh, okay, I guess, and so we never had, even like the support, I may not know the answers to questions visitors have. None of us really do. Open houses don't really work because most people look online, and they do look online, but they finish with a realtor. They finish by going out there in person, and I won't feel safe. Always have a partner, right? Like Monica had Brenda, Natalia and Jessica are doing open houses together. I'm a weirdo. You went with me. Yeah, Monica's been going with me, so I'm not like by myself either.
Yeah, I go by myself out, invite a friend over or something.
Yeah, or if if you have like a home insurance person who has like those few hours off, bring them with you. Now, from a business standpoint, you're not necessarily splitting it 50-50 with another agent, but they have an incentive to capture information because they want to sell policies and win more business from you in the future and win that relationship over from you. So there'll always be a strategic partner, or if you want to call them vendor, associate, partners, affiliate partners who would be happy to drop in for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Awesome. So we can dispel some of those beliefs. And if you don't have signs yet, like we have signs, we borrow ours. We only need them for the arrow to like get to the open house. And they call us and be like, yeah, that's not me, but here's the phone number of Alessandra, right? That we're not hosting that open house. It's all above board. You're solid. And not to mention, there's Joseph pointed out a couple weeks ago, there were so many open houses where he lives, like what, 8 or 9 of them.
There's so many now.
Yeah, so let's say there's 10 in your half-mile radius. That means there's like 100 signs anyway that are out there on top of the 5 that you're going to put out there. So
Get that block.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think on the weekend, try to go to 2 or 3 open houses to see how the agents are, how they present, what they, how the houses. So I look to see if there's any signs, and that's the reason why I look at those signs on the weekend.
Yeah.
It's a good idea to go as many open houses that you can at the time. Usually happens on the weekend. Try to maybe see the agents, see how they present themselves and what the price of the house is, how the house goes to the house. You think the price is adequate. So that's like an indication of it.
Absolutely. And keep this in mind, guys. The market's not unhealthy right now. In fact, the market was very unhealthy or unhealthy when homes were selling the moment they hit Facebook, right? Like when there was a big problem when we put a home on coming soon and it was already practically sold, right? That's a very unhealthy market, the kind of market where, hey, there's no fair opportunity for buyers who really could bring quality dollar or top dollar and quality terms to the deal. So don't think of 90 days on market, 60 days on market, 120 days, 200 days on market is unhealthy, maybe 200. But yeah, a healthy market, when you talk to realtors of the last 25, 35 years, a very normal market was having a listing for 4 to 6 months, sometimes 7 or 8 months before it's sold, right? That was a very healthy market. In the Valley, we talked about having 5,000 homes at one point for sale. And it was really what really made homes move was how well and descriptive a person could describe the home. Because the features and benefits of the house was what a quality buyer agent would really narrow in on. And a high quality listing agent would have all those benefits, not lie about it, but truly have those benefits about the house zeroed in on the MLS. In the most recent years, we've had the bad habit that, we didn't have to say like the perfect description of the kitchen. Who cared? Who cared, right? I mean, seriously, like if you had the one house in a 1 mile radius of Granada Hills near the district, and you were the only house going up for sale that week, it didn't matter. People were going to offer their firstborn child in a taco truck to get that house. Or maybe not the firstborn child, but meme. You guys ever see that meme where you guys around? Where they had a counter, that comic counter that went around. It was on a counter form and it said, hey, we'll give you our highest and best. We'll beat the next offer by $20,000. We'll name our firstborn son at a first name of your preference. We'll give you a taco truck party upon selling, all this stuff. Yeah, and it didn't matter what the house was, because you're gonna like do whatever with it anyway. But once upon a time, people were saying, hey, 5,000 homes in the valley was normal. Right, so only see less than 100 or 200 quality homes on the market was like craziness. And that's what we had experienced. So who benefits? Sellers benefit, buyers benefit, neighbors benefit from understanding what's going on. You, the agent, benefit. So it's a quadruple win all the way around, right? No matter how you chop it up, everybody benefits, especially the neighbors. They get to know, like, ooh, this is how my house stacks up against other homes. And looky-loo neighbors are excellent. So the looky-loo neighbors may be wondering for themselves what's going on, like, hey, well, if Philip and Monica can sell their house for this much, what are we get for our place? We did all these renovations. Or they could be the forever neighbor, and they might know that they might be the nosy neighbor who knows what's going on in everyone's lives. And you want to win them over because they're going to be great advocates to help you move their neighbors out, right? Benefits of the open house, it's inexpensive, right? You didn't have to pay to play type of thing. It's a prospecting tool, so you get to meet and greet with as many people as you want. High rate of return, because if you all you invested in was water bottles and some bags and some little bags of 50s, what is that, $20? And qualify leads. You can qualify leads while you're there. The cool thing is now with open houses, you might not get the droves of people that were coming through. So now you get to actually have high quality conversations with people at the open house. And this is for free. This isn't going to be like on the notes. So please write this down and maybe watch this portion of the recording. But the three things that we would always talk about, like, and I can role play with Monica, and Monica's super cool, right? You won't get into a hard time. Awesome. Hey, Monica, Philip, thank you so much for stopping by today. Really appreciate you. Before you head out, I know you're going to see a ton of other open houses, and I understand you're not working with an agent, but you're going to meet a ton of agents out there. Before you go, you mind if I share 2 or 3 quick tips with you guys, or whether or not we get to work together, you can use that information to get your next home. Awesome. Hey, one of the first tips you want to look out for is that most escrows, believe it or not, most homes that are under contract, going through the sale process, 20% cancel, and 80% of that do cancel because of poor preparation on the financing. Make sure the lender that you're working with has all of your files in a row in alignment, and maybe have a plan B loan officer. I have a couple of loan officers I can recommend you. Again, whether or not we work together, it's always good to have a plan B option in case something comes out of left field. The second thing is, yes, we're transitioning to a buyer's market, but you still want your offer written and negotiated in such a way that it captures not only the attention of the listing agent, but also the seller. And especially now, you want a realtor who will be able to negotiate potential closing costs in your favor. Sound fair?
Yeah.
And then lastly, you want to work with a realtor that is in tune with the area, meaning that they're in a network with other realtors in the area. I can say from my experience, we're with Keller Williams Calabasas, yet we're connected with all the KW offices around here, plus our network through the Southland Regional Association of Realtors, 10,000 agents strong. So if you have come across any of those properties, you want to make sure your agent's connected with that group in order to get some of the background information that you wouldn't normally get reading off of the description. And so with all that being said, would you guys be comfortable if we touch base on Tuesday after you guys digest seeing all the homes that you're going to go see?
Yeah, I guess, but what if I just give you a call instead?
Yeah, you totally do that. Now, one of the things is that I also do have some timely information regarding the market that I can also email you or text you or your husband. Would you guys mind if I were able to shoot that information over to you?
I don't know how many emails I'm gonna be sending, already get loaded from the market.
Oh, absolutely. How many emails would you like to receive?
The less the better.
Yeah, maybe just one, just A, introduction of our company, and B, just timely updates every so often. In this case, but we can use that email just to connect on a time that works for you guys, kind of discuss what options you saw, what resonated with you, what didn't. And if you didn't need a realtor out there that could answer those 3 things among others, then maybe there's a basis for us to work together. Awesome. And it's at 818 or 661 or whatever, and then we capture email, capture cell number, capture his cell number, all that stuff. Start a group text. Hey, she had like this thing about dating a guy who's 6'4", looking like Jason Momoa. Actually looked her husband be like that tall. Kidding, guys.
Okay.
So cool, that was like a mini role play, hopefully that was helpful. But those are some of the conversations you can have to win, new clients over. Any KW brokerage is okay. Excuse me. Unfortunately, no, it would actually have to be a brokerage that technically Rich represents. So it would be, KW Calabasas, KW Studio City. I want to say he's the broker for Larchmont. Is he? Okay. And then there's a fourth office. I have the Beach Cities. No,
Beverly Hills. He doesn't represent that.
no. I mean, it's in the Ford Living family, but the two, or I guess three with Larchmont, but Calabasas, Calabasas, Studio City, Larchmont. There's a fourth one. Hollywood Hills? No.
Just saw this today.
Because I know Hollywood Hills is in the family, the Ford Living family.
West side.
West Side, there you go. So those are, those are, if you're gonna get 4 offices to represent, those would be 4 big ones. So West Side, Studio City, Calabasas, and Larchmont would be the ones. And having a hard time hearing you, can you speak up or raise the volume? All right, how about now? Caroline or Charline, can you hear me now? I'll hang tight, but I'll do my best to speak up.
It's
as
the
well.
same. It's the
But,
same.
Why can't you do open houses for other people other than? for-
So, well, in years past, we would host open houses for any brokerage. There's been a big push from California Association of Realtors, CAR, from a liability standpoint, that brokers of other brokerages or agents of other brokerages not host open houses due to liability. Now, granted, I posted open houses for other outside area agents, and traditionally I always look for vacant homes.
What about if you were bonded?
Oh, wait,
You're bonded?
oh yeah, well, that's a solution, would be that you got your own insurance policy, like a 1-day,
Good boy.
real easy fix. But if you didn't want to go through the trouble of going online, getting a policy, all that stuff, yeah, then you just do it for places in the office. Now, real quickly, we did do one for one of our teammates, did one for another broker friend of mine, Brian Hackpaw. It was full of stuff. We did everything on text and email to confirm the instructions. And as long as the technical thing is, as long as the broker of record approves it, and he was his own broker, so he could approve his own showing, and there's no big deal either. So as long as the broker is involved in that. Best practices as we go through is be purposeful, not entrepreneurial. Like have a goal going into your open house. In this case, set goals. So something as far as setting a goal might be like, hey, I'm going to have 4 high quality conversations and capture two solid buyer leads, right? 2 highly motivated buyers. Number 2, pick the house, right? So, and I'm kind of aiming low, just for example's sake, but pick a house that likely a single family residence, easy to park at, right? Maybe you know the area that house is in. So kind of pick and choose. Don't go to some random area like Leona Valley. And we were like kind of pitching that house, but pick a place that you're familiar with. Prepare and practice. Like that little dialogue I did with Monica. I got that dialogue back in 2014, and believe it or not, if you heard it, it still applies to today, right? Those same 3 steps, regardless of the market, those are things that separate us from the normal or average agent in the field. Right. Number 4, pick the time. Make sure it's something that works for you. In this case, you're talking about Thursday night happy hour, wanting to be Sunday afternoon. So you pick time, hopefully that works for you, but don't pick Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday either. Unless you plan on just sitting a vacant house and having your signs out all week, you can totally do that as well. When I got into business, we had this weird transition period of foreclosure homes, flip homes, and resale, like mom and pop selling their house, like a normal sale home. And a lot of the flips were totally vacant. A lot of the bank-owned properties were totally vacant. And I could actually just sit there with my phone tethered to my computer and knock out work, make calls. Didn't have a database the way we have it today, but I was able to like work with people coming through the open house 3 days a week while working my phone calls and all that fun stuff. So if you want to do that, that's also an option. Know your market, prepare the stats. So this is a fun way of knowing not only the schools and knowing what's sold, but knowing everything about the neighborhood that you can get. If the house happens to be in the city of Los Angeles, you can go to empowerla.org, EMPOWERLA.org. And that is a fun way of finding out all the free stuff that homeowners can get or potential homeowners can get from that neighborhood council, among other things, among other news items. So on one side, you could always print out, like we go to the printer copy machine, on one page, print out the stats, the other page, print out a cool, helpful one sheet of everything available to them. And be safe. This is the big one that we kind of highlighted earlier. Use the buddy system, arrive early, park on the street, check all entrances and exits.
Yeah.
Don't park backwards or don't park with your nose in, Monica. Park with your nose out if you're going to reverse park into a private driveway or something like that. It's easier just to get out if you need to. Know all your entrances and exits, right? Make sure your cell phone is fully charged. Post about where you're at, doesn't hurt, right? Turn on the lights, check your local COVID guidelines. I think everywhere we go, we're totally cool. And follow market center guidelines and checklists for open houses. Our market center guidelines very similar to this. Let people know where you're at. If you want to, you can even post it on the forward looking chat. Like, hey, I'm gonna be at this open house. Feel free to send your buyers over. I'll make sure to get back to you so you can write an offer. Getting right into prepare, prospect, and pursue. The difference between big and really big is how you manage your time and focus. DK.
What was the website that you get stats from?
It's not actually stats, it's more like kind of knowing the community. It's empowerla.org.
Empower LA.
EMPOWERLA.org. And that one's specifically for the 96 neighborhood councils that make up the city of Los Angeles. If you're here in Calabasas, you just go to the Calabasas city website. If you're in, I don't know if Hidden Hills has one. City of San Fernando would have their own. CME definitely has their own, which we forwarded over to Brenda at one time. And any ahas on this, the difference between big and really big is how you manage your time and focus.
Yeah, I think that kind of goes back to what we were doing yesterday for one thing.
Mhm.
We have to know what our intention is and put the energy towards the intention. That's the why we're doing it, as opposed to just being here.
Yep.
Have a purpose, be purposeful.
That's right. In the book Shift, Gary Keller donates a whole chapter on open houses, like being purposeful with one. Maybe you invite the neighborhood over a day before, which you guys, a lot of people to do it, right? Or doing a follow-up, follow mojo call to the area or a door drop or something, but making it a micro farm. Because what you're gonna end up doing, you might not ever go back to that neighborhood, but the people that you captured with that dialogue or at the invitation or at the open house or on the phone, now you have a reason and purpose to stay in touch with them about the market updates, things that are happening, things that aren't happening. Like, hey, your neighbor's house is still available. And I was curious to see if you knew of anyone. I'm working with the agents. And hey, there might be an opportunity to save some money on closing costs, maybe a price reduction, different things to really help your neighbors sell their house, And by inquiring that way, you're indirectly marketing them, right? There's direct questioning, direct marketing, there's indirect marketing. Indirect marketing is that we're not selling them, we're actually working with them around their market or offering them something of benefit that doesn't involve them selling or buying with us. Right. Again, another item they talk about big time in the Shift book. Let's see here. Prepare, prospect, pursue. Prepare your mindset and practice your conversations. Right. If you go in thinking, oh man, this is going to be a waste of time. Well, guess what you're going to attract? Right. A waste of time. Practice your conversations, whatever those conversations are. I tend to be kind of like called the elephant in the room. And so if Joe sits at the open house, let's role play a little bit. Hey, thank you for stopping by. Was it all the signs that you saw leading in, or did you find our house online?
No, the signs, I was just looking there to see house, and your signs were very helpful.
Awesome. Well, let me give you a quick little flyer sheet. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house. As you can tell, listed for $899,000. And I just go through the basic stats. Hey, go ahead, do your thing, take your time looking through the house. Any questions, feel free to circle back and ask me. So then you go through the house. I may not be with you, I may check in on you. You come back and then, hey, by the way, what was your name? I didn't catch your name.
My name is Joseph.
Joseph, I'm Philip. It's nice to meet you.
you.
Okay, what resonated with you about the house?
Just looking at the neighborhood, I just had one question. How long the house has been listed?
It's been listed now 4 months.
Have you been in escrow or never?
No, actually, the realtor had told me that they had taken the listing a while back. They were hoping to kind of catch the market before it changed. Obviously, it's changed now. No escrows. Some offers were made, nothing that the seller wanted. And here we are meeting each other at this open house.
Excellent.
Awesome. Hey, about this house so far, anything about the house that resonated with you?
I like the way the bedrooms only that they're separate from the living room, so that's pretty good.
Awesome. And any feedback I could share with the listing agent and the seller,
No, everything looks good. Thank you.
right? And if you were to buy a home in this market, what kind of home are you looking for?
Well, just looking around, I don't have any ideas of where I want to buy, but I'm just trying to get an idea of where the properties are around here.
Nice. Hey, if you don't mind me asking, are you buying for yourself or as an investment?
This would be for my primary house.
Very cool. And if you notice, I'm just going right into questions. Where do you currently live now?
I live with my parents, so I don't have a set place that I want to move to.
Very cool. Are you by any chance working with an agent to help you kind of identify those locations or what would be a great fit?
I've talked to a few agents, but nothing particular that comes out of the page for me to work with.
Awesome. And then that point, like about the agent, I kind of did jump right into like Monica's thing where I shared with her the 3 questions. Like, hey, I know you're going to see a lot of homes. You've probably seen a ton of homes and a ton of agents. You mind if I share some advice with you before you take off? And then I just go right into the 3 things. The most escrow that cancels because of poor planning on the finance, writing your offer in such a way that captures the attention of the listing agent and the seller, and of course, working with an agent who happens to know other agents in the area because of that networking community.
I just have one comment. I think when you're an open house, it's the best to try to engage your client with a lot of conversation, a lot of communication back and forth. I think the more questions you ask, very naturally, they will tell you about what the situation is.
Oh yeah.
They're divorced or they're looking for a house, or they're moving with their kids to a new neighborhood and all that. So those are very critical. Those are most important than the price of the house or number of bedrooms. Finding out the reason why they want to move, whether they want to move because of their parents, whether they want to move because of their children, or their empty nesters, all that stuff would make it worthwhile to know why they're going to move.
Oh yeah. And you kind of have to grade the time. If you're in and there's like a couple more people going through, you kind of have to work the conversations in the crowd. Now, let's say you're the only guy there, I still might push to kind of keep the conversation under 10 minutes or so, or maybe under 15. And if you're an I personality and it really is like, hey, you full hanging out and hang out with me until someone else shows up, right? But I'll still convert at some point to those 3 questions, or convert in a way that leads to your phone number or contact information for us to
That would be the ultimate goal.
yeah, because you're not going to sell someone in a 10-minute conversation. But what you are going to be able to do is connect and then lead from there. Week before open house preparation, these are 5 of the best practices you can follow. And I'll tell you now, I never did any of this stuff. Right? Okay, so I'll tell you now, I never did any of it. I think I would pick. So now, the market for me flipped. It wasn't like I had all this tremendous amount of time from 2016. Yeah, from 2016 till present, we never really had a shot to like really dive deep with listings, because a lot of them just started selling really quickly until I had my own. So it says here, select the house, right? And maybe in this market that we're in right now, you can totally select the house on the day. Like you can select the house today and it will be available for you to do an open house on the weekend. On Tuesday, post online, walk the neighborhood, invite neighbors to show. I did post it online. I never walked the neighborhood, never invited neighbors. Right. I think I did it a few times for a few of our listings, but never really like aggressively like they're talking about it. Post online again, install yard sign. We usually do that now through our team. Thursday, post online again, invite database. We now do that through our team, through our virtual assistant. Post online again. Now again, it's posting online a bunch. We haven't done that portion. Prepare market statistics, print flyers, door knock. We've done all that except for door knock. Right. Like I think Brenda crushes it with door knocking. Jessica and Natalia, our former teammates, Brittany and Evie have done that. So there are the vast majority at this office who actually follows through on that. Keep that going. Keep those muscles strong, right? What's on?
We don't have that page in here.
Oh,
No, I thought you were picture of it. Yeah. All right.
yes.
I'm
Awesome.
a writer. 1:30.
Yeah, I'm a writer too. I know she had like some of the slides and people were taking pictures yesterday. I was like, I'm writing that.
Yeah. Sorry, I have a question.
Oh yeah, fire away, Moj.
I didn't get it. You say Monday select the house. What does it mean?
What was that on the morning?
Pardon me?
What was that? What does what mean?
It says Monday select the house. What?
Oh, got it. So on a Monday, you would pick a house that you can do an open house for. And so you would probably work with an agent, or go on MLS and find a house that you can post an open house for, as well. In fact, tomorrow, if you guys are on forward mindset, I'll do two things. One, the 135, and we'll do like a quick run on how to select an open house. Because open houses, I would highly suggest if you are looking at trying to do even 4 deals before the end of the year, posting an open house three times a month would be totally in your favor, and marketing around them, depending on the market area and stuff like that. So Mo, we can definitely cover that tomorrow morning online. Here, what clients like to know, they want to know community and neighborhood information, relocation information, first-time buyer specific mortgage information. So that one, number one, can be answered through something like empowerla.org, or if you download the CRMLS app. It's a really useful app. Not only do you get the stats or the generated agent information about the house, same thing with you on MLS and it's mobile. You also get the high school information, public high school information, middle school, elementary, walking scores, all that fun stuff. And if you really want to go deep, download the RPR app. And that, I believe if we're all through SRAR, we all have access to that. And that makes you look like a freaking genius, right? RPR. And then you should just be able to register it with your license number, and then you create an account and tax because you're already part of the board, all that fun stuff. Relocation information, find out if they are moving from out of area into the area. First time buyer specifics, markets change. So now we're talking about terms, buyer credit, very tough on our home inspection. And of course, appraisal protected mortgage information. I always have a really good loan officer on standby. Because one of the best things you can leverage is say, hey, I would love to start a group text with one of my loan officer partners. What's the best number to start a group text with you on? And then you start with Cindy or whoever your partner is, get them on that group text with them. Let's see here, prospect, build trust and rapport, provide value, capture information, qualify leads. That dialogue you heard me have with Monica, that is in a way building trust and rapport and providing value, right? And I'm going to capture their contact information based on that conversation, right? That's beyond just a script. There's a skill in asking questions, mirror matching. Monica's a very deep personality, so maybe I wouldn't be as like standoffish. I might be a little bit more in tune with her and her husband and try to match and mirror and match their pace, right? Joseph's a little bit more reserved back. I'm not going to lean into him because I'm kind of pushing into a corner. I'm going to stand back as well. And then we're going to have a conversation that he quote unquote guides through the questions that we ask, right? And then we're going to capture information that way. Greet everyone that comes to the door. Is building trust and rapport, engage in conversation, be positive. Exactly what Joseph said. Provide value, know your team stats or your office stats, your market stats, understand personality types, that's this profile, being a driver. Everyone here has done your disc profile, right?
Yeah.
No, not yet. Whoever's doing your onboarding, slap them on the hand. No, I'm kidding. That might be Stephanie, so don't do that. But talk to Stephanie. There should be like a disc link at the bottom of one of those welcome emails. You need like 45 minutes to run it. It's so cool.
It's Kate.
Oh, KPA, there you go.
I'm waiting.
Okay, cool. So then you did do it and it gets back to you. Awesome. That's a huge one because you learn about you and you learn what you're not in a sense, or not necessarily what you're not, but you will have out of the 4, you're going to have 1 or 2 dominant. Very few people are even feel across the board. And then you'll learn more about yourself, what works for you, what doesn't. And by knowing what doesn't work, you kind of know what other people are like. So they're like kind of the opposite, like my wife and I, total opposites. Bam. ISDC, high five, have something to offer the visitors. I usually had printouts. Monica had water bottles and cookies. You'll probably end up getting more lazy. Capture information, qualify leads, have a sign-in sheet. So if you skip over to number 2 and 3, use command KW app, people can sign in there and they literally will be on your app. Like you can literally offer them the KW app. It captures their email and phone number. That's how they register their name, everything, if you use that. And there's a QR code. I'm not the person to ask for that. Emilio, you can actually create a QR code for your open file sheet. They can scan that, and by scanning it, it does take them through a drop down of information.
Oh, that's cool.
In order for them to have access to your app and have access to a flyer. Aside from the flyer, don't give them. Ask questions. You heard some of the questions I was asking Joseph. Hey, was it the signs that got you here, or was it something you saw online, right? And that's just like a few questions to start. Remember, you're there to get leads and appointments. We're not there to sell the house that we're hosting. Make connections, gather their information, follow up to get an appointment. Pursue all of them. Update your database as you're doing it, or get more time block, like Tracy was saying. To do that, follow up with all attendees, reevaluate the goals you set. Did you succeed? What changes will you make for next time? Fail forward, right? No perfect, never perfect experience, always opportunities to grow and learn, right? Now we're not going to jump into this portion here. Let's see here, ahas in our recap. You guys want to take a photo of that? That's always kind of cool, but that's worth a photo. Or a screenshot. If you're on computer, I think it's Command-Shift-3 for Apple users. And I think it's Alt-Shift-3 if you're, let me try that. Oh, it's not that on a regular computer, but if you're on a Apple desktop or Apple Mac, it's Command-Shift-3 to screenshot that. And then going right into our conversation, before we take off, what are some of the conversations you guys are having with people or objections that you're coming across? How is this working out for those who are making the contact, adding to your database or updating your database, doing the handwritten notes, and engaging on social media? How's that working out for everyone here?
Well, for the 10 contacts, I'm doing it through Facebook, like social media. And they're more, I think, becoming more open. You know, there's an actual dialogue. Let's say I like one of the pictures or whatever, mostly about kids or anything with family, then I put a comment. And then it's a whole dialogue that starts with that. And then I say, no, let's just continue with it on DM or something. So it's that. The flow is becoming like more open.
Speak for your pressure. Yeah. No, that's awesome. It does. It's amazing.
I was gonna make a side comment. If you talk about possible prospective future clients about their kids, they're just gonna know. That's the reason. That's what I use the most. They just love cutting that. Oh my God, you're so good. You're gonna remember it.
Yeah.
There you go. What about Sherilyn, Monique, and Moj? What are some of your experiences thus far with making 10 contacts, adding 10 to your database, doing handwritten notes, engaging on social media, and all that fun stuff?
I just started, so I'm kind of new to all this, but it's changed a lot since I did real estate in the 80s. So the only thank you note I've sent is to Stephanie, but I did show a couple places to some people who wanted to do a restaurant and their listing was completely wrong. So now those clients are going to take a step back and see what they really want to do. So, I'm giving them that space because I've found 3 other properties for this restaurant that they want. But I do residential and retail, but specializing in restaurants.
Nice. There you
So,
go. Well, welcome back to the industry.
Thank you. It's a large learning curve here with technology, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's definitely part of our fabric. Early on when we started Ignite, we shared that a lot of times that's people's way of communicating, right? They won't take a phone call. they may text you back. But if it's on Facebook or Instagram or whatever that chosen social media tab is, you know, they can go into full paragraphs with you about their life. You know, a buddy of mine, we had a full thing on Instagram Messenger about him and his wife buying a house, getting pre-approved. It was all while I was camping. We had Wi-Fi, we had reception, and we just went back and forth on how to get them to where they want to be. So, yeah, it's totally fine.
Yeah, that's a problem because a lot of the people that I'm dealing with, I mean, they're probably in their mid to late 20s to, I'd say, 35. They're not doing Facebook and they're not using Instagram. And so they're using Snap, they're using TikTok. But for me to communicate with them, I have to go to their venue because I'm really good on Twitter and Instagram. But the Facebook thing, they won't touch it. You know, they're just completely disillusioned, you know, as many of us were with what happened. But I know that I've got to reset my mindset because we weren't even allowed to use Facebook. I worked for CBS News, so I closed all my Facebook down. It's there, but it's closed down. But
Right,
in talking to these kids, and I'm, you know,